Hi, distance learners. So we are back for our third week, and this is going to be day 10 of our distance learning. And we're going to be spending this whole week talking about what is called functions. And we're going to spend the whole week talking about this in different parts and how, and we're going to keep building on this. So today we're going to kind of go over some basics, and then we'll keep going throughout the week. So let's get started. And I miss you guys. Okay, so first thing I want to go over is what is called a relation. And that is basically any set of ordered pairs is what is called a relation. They all relate to each other in some way. We know these as inputs and outputs, or X and Y's. Our input is always X, our output is always Y. So as I see here, my ordered pairs, I have 0, 0 here, which is represented in the table. I have 1, 8 represented in the table, 2, 16, and so on. So again, all of those ordered pairs form what is called a relation. And then we can also use ordered pairs to make what is called a mapping diagram. And this is actually going to be really important when we get into identifying what a function is and if a relation is what a function is a function. That's going to be a big thing that we're going to be doing, is saying, is this a function? And these mapping diagrams are going to help us do that. As you can see, our input 0 maps to our output 0. Basically, rather than writing the ordered pairs, we're just using arrows to show what inputs go to what outputs. All right, so I have some more mapping diagrams here. As you can see with this diagram, my first ordered pair is -2, -3. Sorry, just 3, not -3. So that's that ordered pair. I have -1, 2. I have 0, 1. And I have 1, 0. So those are all of my ordered pairs for that relation. And then over here, I have 0, 1. I have 1, 2. I have 2, 2. And then I have 3, 4. Again, the input matches with the output. You guys notice that 1 and 2 both go to the output 2. That's okay. That can happen. Okay. Here I have the input 1, which would go to -1. And then 1 also goes to 1. 4 goes to 2 and to -2. So those are those ordered pairs. All right, let's keep going. So name the set of ordered pairs represented by this mapping diagram. So we can do that. We just did it. My first point would be 2, 4. And that's going to be this one here. Then I have -2, 4. Then I have 5, 25. And then I have -5, 25. So that's going to be the ordered pairs for those equations. I mean, input outputs, not equations. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so now here's our big word of the week, function. A function is a rule where each input has one output. One output. So every input or each x has one y value. So as we can see here, this would be a function because all of our inputs only go to one output. But here, as you can see, this is not a function because 1 goes to -1 and it goes to 1. So 1 has, so input 1 has more than one output. Also, input 4 has more than one output. So that's going to be very important. Any input can only have one output. All right, let's keep going. Which relations are functions? Use a mapping diagram to explain. So let's do A up here. I have 0 to 1. I have 1, 4, 2, 5, and 3, 7. All of those have only one, so A checks out because each input only has one output. All right, let me move me, and now let's go to B. I have -2, 0. I have -1, 0. I have 0, 0. And then I have 1, 0. Again, each input only has one output. -2 only goes to one number, -1 only goes to one number, and so on. I know that they all go to 0. That is okay. Two inputs can share the same output. Just one input cannot have two outputs. All right, so B checks. Let's look at option C. I have 0, -1. Ooh, and then I have 0, 3. So this is not a function already. 0 has two outputs. That is not a function because 0 has two outputs. All right, let's move on. All right, is the relation a function? Let's use a mapping diagram. I have 1, 3. I have 1, oh, already not a function because input 1 has two outputs. So I can already see that that's not a function because input 1 has two outputs, so it is not a function. Each input can only have one output, and this is not the case here. Okay, is the relation a function and explain? All right, so if I made a mapping diagram here, I would have 1, 3. Ooh, and then I would have 1, 2. And this goes over here. So no, this is not a function. Oops. No, input 1 has two outputs. All right, let's look here. I have -3, 5, -2, -5, -1, -5, and 0, -5. Yes. All inputs have one output. Here I have 0, 12, 1, 14, 2, 16, and 3, 18. Yes, that is a function because each has one output. Each in has one out. Okay, we're going to skip over that. The last thing we're going to do is do what is called a vertical line test, which means you can run a vertical line through the graph and only touch one point. And only touch one point. So if I look at option A and I make a bunch of vertical lines, that only touches there, this only touches there. So this would pass what is called the vertical line test, and that's what part of being a function is a function has to pass the vertical line test. So option A is a function, it passes the vertical line test. Now option B, if I drew a vertical line, it hits both those points, so this is no, does not pass. Because if I draw a vertical line, it hits those 2 points. Now let's look at option C. If I draw my vertical lines, it only hits there, hits there, hits there, hits there. Any vertical line I draw, it only hits once. So that also passes the vertical line test. So A and C are functions, B is not. Because B, the input X, which would in this case would probably be 2, has two outputs, 1 and -1. All right, let's keep going. All right, use the vertical line. All right, so this is our last thing. Use the vertical line test. If I draw a vertical line here, it hits here and here. That does not pass. So that is not a function. All right, drawing vertical lines. It hits there, there, there. Oh, all right, so this one's looking like it does pass. But here it does not pass because it hits, that's an awful vertical line, sorry. It would hit here and here on that vertical line, meaning this does not pass. Again, so that input of 1 has two outputs, 1 and -1. We can't have that. That is not a function. Okay, that was just a lot of information. I'm hoping that you were taking notes during that to use for your Pearson. So now you're going to head to Pearson, work on it, and then if you have questions, I will see you on Zoom at 10. All right, I miss you guys. Bye.